want to note the difference between set of numbers and a grouped numbers relating to median, mode, and the mean. So let's have a look at the question and use that to explain the meaning of the set of numbers and the grouped data on how to find the median, mode, and mean. From the question, we have these numbers, right? Look at the arrangement. The arrangement means that these are set of numbers. It's not being grouped into any category. They are just numbers, right? Being written. So 8, 9, 14, 14, 18, 12, 6, 17, 14, and 18. You see, there's no arrangement, right? There's no arrangement here. So in this case, we say that this is what a set of numbers. And then from this, we have been asked to find the median, meaning the median number, right? You see the arrangement, there's no way we can find the median number unless you rearrange it, right? You rearrange it either from shortest in front. So what I mean by that is from the smallest to the biggest. So that is the first thing for a set of numbers like this. You have to make sure that you rearrange it in ascending order or descending order. What I mean by that, from the smallest to the biggest. So from the shortest to the tallest, right? So in all, we are having 10 numbers, right? So 10 numbers here. You have to rearrange that from the smallest to the biggest. So that's the ascending order here. Okay, so the smallest among them is 6, then followed by 8, 8, and then 9, 12, 14, 14, 14, 17, and 18. You see that now the numbers are being arranged in ascending order from the smallest to the biggest. Okay, perfect. Now we are free to go. We are looking for the median number, right? The median number among them. In all, they are 10. So if you are looking for the median number, assume you want to divide that by 2. So it means that each part will be 5, 5, and we don't have any median number. So in that case, all you have to do, what will happen if you say the first people take first 4, and then the second people also take the last 4. I will say that we are left with 2 guys at the middle. Is that okay? Because in this case, we say the numbers are even numbers. Let's forget about the mathematical terms and understand the concept first. So in this case, we are dealing with 10 people. We want the middle of them. There's no way we can get a middle if everybody would take 5, 5, right? So we don't want that. Still, we want the middle. In that case, let everybody take 4, 4, and then we should deal with the rest of the 2 after arranging them in from smallest to the biggest. So after taking the 4, 4, you can see that we are left with 2 guys. These 2 guys are 12 and 14. Right? So they are 12 and 14. So what do you do with these 2 guys? Since we are looking for the middle, we just need to add them, right? You need to add them and then divide that by 2. Is that okay? So 12 plus 14 divided by 2. Okay, so that will be 26 divided by 2. So the answer is 13, yes, right? So this is how simple you find the middle or the median from a set of numbers. Okay, now if the numbers are odd, what I mean by odd is just assuming the numbers here are 9, right? Assuming the numbers are 9, you can see that if each part takes 4, 4, then we'll be left with 1 person at the middle, right? So just that 1 person will be the median from the set of numbers. Is that okay? So let's say the numbers, all the numbers here ends at let's say 17. You can see that you count them, you get 9. So 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you want to divide that into 2, right? So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here we also take 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the middle one will just be this guy. Is that okay? So now if the numbers are even, this is how you go about it. We still want the middle, so after arranging, let's the first part be 4, and then the second part also be 4. Then we pick the 2 guys at the middle, and then you add that into 2. And then divide that. Okay, now the next one is the modal. The modal here is the one that occur most, right? The one that occur. What I mean by the one that occur most, which age appears most, right? Which age, after counting, doing the arrangement, which age is the most occurring, right? So you can see from here, you can see that 14 is here, 14 is here. So 1, 2, and then 3, right? There's no any other number apart from 14 that occur most in our outcome here. So 8 appears just twice, right? So you can see from this thing 14 is the one that occur most. So you say that 14 is the modal age, right? 14 is the what? The modal age. Okay, now let's move on to the mean. The mean aspect. The mean aspect is that you say if you find the mean, this we are still dealing with a set of numbers, right? We are still dealing with a set of numbers. So how do you find the mean from what? A set of numbers. The mean is the average, right? You already know that the data that we are dealing with are a set of numbers. They are just numbers. Is that okay? So how do you get? For you to do that, there's a way. There's a tool. The tool say that you should sum out all the x and then divide that by n. So don't worry about this. The x here are the numbers that we are being given, right? The x are the numbers that we are being given. So what are the x? This is what we are calling the x. These numbers being given to us. So that is 8, 9, 14, 14, 18, 12, 6, and so on and so forth. So these are the x. They say you should add them all, and then n is the number of what outcomes. So how many are they? They are what? They are 10, right? In all, they are 10. So this x here are the numbers, and then this guy here means that we should add all the numbers, right? Add all the numbers and divide that by what? The total outcome. So we are going to add them. So we are adding them, the numbers. The numbers are what? 8 plus 1, 9 plus 1, 14 plus 18. So the last person, right? So the last person is 8 from the numbers being given to us. How many are they? In all, they are 10. So we are dividing everything by 10, right? So when you sum everything, you should get to 120. So 120 divided by 10, that should be what? 12, right? So this will be what? The mean age for what? This type of distribution. So the mean age is what? 12. Okay, so this is how simple we deal with what? The median, mode, and mean from what? A set of numbers, right? So quick one, let's look at this question here. So this question here says that, okay, let's have a look at the question first. Okay, from the question you can see that we are having numbers, right? We are having numbers. The numbers that we are having are 15, 21, 26, 18, and m. And then they say the mean of these numbers is what? 21. So how do you go about it? The numbers that we are having are our set of numbers. The only tool that we need to solve the mean for what? A set of numbers is this guy, right? Is this guy here. So you should add all the x and then you divide that by what? The outcome, right? Add all the numbers and divide that by what? The outcome. So the numbers we are going, don't forget, don't worry about this m or letter. Anything that they'll give to you, that's, you've already identified that the numbers are a set of numbers, and they say you should find the mean. That is the tool that you have to use. So you say you should add all the numbers. So you are going to add this. So I know that you already be asking, how can you add this letter to the numbers? So at the end they say you should find the m, right? So don't worry. So we know that you have to add all the numbers and you divide that by the outcome. So the outcome, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that's why I'm dividing here by 5. And then what is the value of the mean? The mean is 21, right? You have a 21 over here. So when you add everything, you can get what? You should have something like 80 plus m and then divided by 5, right? So that should be equal to 21, the mean being given to us. Is that okay? Okay, so perfect. You have to work for what? The m by what? Doing the cross multiply. So now the m, 5 will multiply the 21, right? And then you have 18 plus m is equal to 21 plus multiply by what? 5. Then when you do your calculation perfect, you can get that m is equal to 25. Okay, so this is how simple you can solve this type of questions and our set of numbers. All right, so let's have a look at what a group data. So how can you apply this thing to the group data? Okay, now we are on the group data. So let's have a look at the question and see how we can use this method to solve that problem. From the question, we are given a marks by or score by students in a test, and then we have been asked to find the modal mark, right? So the meaning of the modal mark, as you all know already, it is the marks that obtain or the marks that appear most, or which marks students scored what most in the test. So from the table you can see that 1, 2, 3 up to 11 students scored 10 marks, right? And then so that is the highest number of people that score what marks in the test, right? So no any other number greater than 11. So in that case, the highest or the modal mark is what? 10, right? So out of this, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11 people 11 people scored 10, right? 11 people scored 10, so the highest mark is 10. Okay, so in the case of what the median, they say you should find the median. You can see that this is what a group data, right? So this is not a set of numbers. So how do you do that? You have to know the total number of people participating in the test. So in this case, we call it summation of S, meaning the sigma F means people who are participating in the test are what 40. Right? You can see this 40 in the case of what the set of numbers as we just saw. This is what an even number. So if you want to find the middle of this number, it's not possible. So if you want to divide this into two, each part will be what 20 20, and we are not going to get any middle number. So what are we going to do? We are going to give one side what 18 and then 18, right? And then we pick what the two middle numbers. Then what we do, we add that and then we divide that by 2, just like the way we did in the set of numbers, right? Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Let's say suppose the total number is what let's say 1 3 4 5 and then 6, right? So how many are they? 1 2 3 4 5. Obviously that there are 5. Of course it has been arranged in what in order from the smallest one to the biggest. Now we want the middle number. Let's take these 2 out and then these 2 out. This guy will be the middle one, right? So what will happen if I add 7 here? Have you seen that we are not going to get any middle number, right? We are not going to get any middle number. So if that happens, then all I have to do is we take these 2 here, we take these 2 here, then we pick the next 2 at the middle, right? Then we add that, so that plus that will be 4 plus 5, and then you divide that by 2 will give you the middle number. Right, the same thing is happening in this case. So in this case we are having 40, we can't get a middle number. So what you do is that you take half of what? Half of that will give us 20, right? So 20, we are not going to get a middle of this 20. What I have to do is that we pick the next 2 middle numbers. So the trick of doing that is to divide that by what? 1/2, right? That gives us 20. Then the 20th and the 21st mark, that will be what? The median. We add that and divide that by 2, right? So what I have to do is that you go to the frequency, then you start adding the frequency until you get to the 20th and the 21st mark, right? So from the table you can see that when we are adding from the top, then you arrive at the 20th mark will be 7, and then 21st mark will also be 7, right? They all fall on the same number, so you can add from the frequency, right? This is what I mean by adding the frequencies to get the 20th and the 21st mark here. So look at the frequency from the table. We are having this frequency. So the frequency starts from 3 0 1 2 4 and so on and so forth. So we are going to add until we get the 20th and the 21st mark. So this plus this one will give me 3, and then plus this will be 4, right? So 4 here, and then here will be that should be 6 10, right? 10 here, then here will be 15. Is that okay? 15 plus 6, 15 plus 6, obviously 15 plus 6 will be 21, right? 21. So out of this 21 we are having a 20 and the 21st mark here. Can you see that? So and then this portion here, they all fall under this category, right? Remember, we are not looking for the frequency, we are looking for the mark. So the corresponding mark here is 7, right? That's why we are saying that 7 correspond to the 20th mark, as well as that same 7 correspond to the 21st mark, because here when we add this plus that, it will be 21, right? 21 here, so 21 here will be the 20th and the 21st mark, they all fall under 7. So for that reason you add it 2 and then you divide that by 2. It will give you the median. Okay, that is for the median. So what about the mean mark? Looking at the mean mark, this is a group data. So as in the case of the set of the numbers, we are using the summation of n divided summation of x, right? Sorry, summation of so that was summation of x divided by n, right? So this is equal to the mean. This is a symbol of the mean. So we should add all the x, we should add all the set of the numbers, and then we divide that by the outcome. But in this case, since the numbers are being grouped, right, it has been arranged, then you have to use these two, right? So summation of fx divided by summation of f, right? Sigma fx divided by sigma f, meaning that you should add all the fx and then you divide that by the additions of all the f. So it's your duty to have a table for that, because you don't know fx, right? But we know the summation of f, right? After adding all the f, you know that the f from the question was 40. Is that okay? We know that, but do we know? We don't know this guy, right? So you have to find out. So that's why I have what? My beautiful table here. The table says that you should what? You should find the fs. So these are the marks. Though the marks will be what? X, right? The marks will be S, and then you already have the frequency. So the marks out from the table, you have what? 1, 2, 3, and so on up to what? Up to 10, right? And the frequency, their corresponding frequencies are what? 3, 0, 1 up to what? 11, right? And then how do you get the fs? The fs is what? Meaning that we should multiply f by what? X. You should multiply the frequency by what? X. So what's the frequency here? The frequency is 3 by x. The s is 1. From this line, we are having 3 multiplied by 1. That will give you what? 3. So 0 multiplied by that will be 0. And then 1 multiplied by what? 3 will be what? 3. And so on and so forth. So the last one was 11 multiplied by 10. So that will be what? 110. Right? So you have to add everything, right? You are adding the what? The fs. The fs. That's what the formula says. The summation of all the fs. You should add what? The fs. So this is one fx, this is another fs. So we are going to add all. After adding, then you get something like 2, 8, or 3. Is that okay? So you just have to plug in these numbers into what? The definition of what? The mean, right? That says that the top one is the summation of fks. That will be 2, 8, 3, right? Divided by that. So when you do your calculation, then you should arrive at something like 7.08. Okay, so this is how simple you should know the difference between what? The set of the numbers and what? The group data, and how to apply the tools in arriving at your answer. Perfect. So thank you for watching.